Hey, long time no see, everybody. Welcome in. Soul Commodore here, back at you again. We're going to be doing some more live painting. As you can see, we got the painting all set up. But yeah, I don't have a headache today. We've got an actual internet connection, so everything is good. So welcome in. Hope y'all are having a wonderful day, and also happy Pride Month. Y'all can see the pride flag that I got up in the corner because it is Pride Month. And while I am, welcome in, Redria. How are you? Yes, and while I am not LGBTQIA plus myself, I am an ally. At least I think I'm an ally. I don't know. I guess someone else would have to rate that, but I consider myself one. So, in support, we will be very openly celebrating Pride Month, at least on this channel. So, some scattered thoughts before we start, before we go into the scattered thoughts that are going to make up the entire rest of the... Yo, L, welcome in. Hello, Raid. L, thank you so much for the raid. I really do appreciate you. Let me get my commands ready. Yes, welcome in, everybody. You're in this raid? Nice. Yeah, shout outs to L. L, how was your stream? Yo, Nathan, how's it going? I was just saying hello to everybody and how we're back. I don't have a headache. We have internet, so we can actually stream. I was also... Jake, from the 7 months... Jake, have we been doing this for 7 months? Oh my goodness. Jake, thank you so much for the resub. Hello, Grammar. How you doing? But yes, I was just saying to everybody, happy Pride Month. And how I was not LGBTQ myself, but I consider myself an ally. I would hope other people consider me an ally. Yeah, we're going to be celebrating that on this channel this month. Managed 5 sketches and 2 hats. Beautiful. I like that. But yes, y'all should go check out L if you were here and weren't part of the raid. Very, very talented artist. I marvel at some of the stuff he's able to do, especially, animation-wise too is just amazing. So that's awesome to hear. I'm glad your stream went well. So yeah, some scattered thoughts just before we start, and start talking about the scattered thoughts that are going to be throughout the entire stream. I put the Try Pride emote in tier 1 for the month. Ah, very nice. I like that. So today's stream is going to end probably about 15 minutes early because it is election day in Ontario. We got a provincial election going on, so I got to go vote. And I have until 9 to do that, but I want to shoot to be in the building around 8. That way, if I have to wait a little bit, it's not like the 11th hour, and So yeah, I gotta go vote, and then I gotta go get groceries, and then we gotta get ready for this weekend because we're going to another regatta, which is why my Saturday time is a little. If you saw my Twitter, my Saturday time is a little bit different than it usually is. It's not going to be at 9 a.m. I'm not going to be starting to stream until 11:30, 12-ish, because my girlfriend is steering a bunch of races in the morning, and I want to see how that goes. Thank you, Elle. Yeah, no, it's just a random bad head. Well, I don't know if I even want to. No, it was a bad headache. That I'm guessing I just didn't drink enough water and I didn't get enough sleep because I woke up the next morning and I was like, I am fine. So, but thank you. I'm glad that you're glad that I'm feeling better. So, we're gonna get started. Like I said, I just had some scattered thoughts at the beginning there. Get some stuff in order. The thoughts during this stream are going to be, I guess, not less scattered. They're going to be a little more focused on one subject in particular. And if you'll all allow me to, if you'll all indulge me, this particular subject is near and dear to my heart. You're lucky no one told Soul Dad that you're not drinking enough water. Also, thank you, Ray. Thank you, Ray. Yes, my dad's big thing with me actually isn't so much not drinking enough water. It was I don't stretch enough. You know, for all the working out I do and everything, I do not stretch enough. Like, not nearly enough. So we're gonna get our paint together. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about a subject that's very personal, very near and dear to my heart. And unfortunately, only one person in this chat, if he's still here, has met this person that I'm going to be talking about, which is unfortunate because, you know, everyone should have met this person. But basically, today is June 2nd, and June 3rd, tomorrow, would have been my mom's 58th birthday. Come on, you stupid thing. Yeah. Tomorrow would have been my mom's 58th. She was born in 1964. And it's crazy to believe that she's been gone now for, well, it's going to be like six or 7 years. Soul Mama Goat. She slapped. She did slap. She was awesome. She was awesome. Yeah, she died at 51. She died at 51. Actually, the main purpose of the charity stream that I'm going to be doing this coming summer, actually next month, is due to one of the reasons that she died. She had lupus and she had scleroderma, and they both kind of attacked her liver, and none of us knew about it until she got really, really sick. And basically, she was too sick. I don't want to say that she was too sick to be a candidate for a liver transplant, but it's just like there was a certain point where it's like she's not going to last much longer. But I don't want to dwell too much on the sad parts of my mother passing away, because you know, I've had 6 years to kind of like come to terms with it, you know, and kind of this was the first year where I woke up on the anniversary of her death and it wasn't the first thing on my mind. So, you know, there was some, we made some progress as far as that goes. No, what I want to do today is I want to tell some stories about my mom, because, you know, that's true. We all do. Yes, and actually, Jake, that's what I want to start with, is just the kind of person that she was. I'm going to talk about her funeral real quick. And to do so, actually, I need to bring up Google Maps, because I need a certain measurement from Google Maps. Thank you, Jake. Yeah, she was like a warm hug. She really was. So I'm going to put a point on this map there, and a point there. No, Google Maps is very handy, but also at the same time is like, can you please? What is here? And then I want to measure distance. just because I want to highlight the kind of person my mom was, and I just want to get this measurement right. So, in Chatham, she was buried out at Maple Leaf Cemetery, which is in my hometown in Chatham, Ontario. And, oops, I want to clear this measurement. Bear with me. This is going to take a second. So, to get to the cemetery, you head out on a road, right, and then you turn right, and it's like this, almost like a country road. It's paved, but it's almost like a country road because there's nothing out there. There's like some tracks on your right, and then there's just fields. There's like an electric, a hydro station to the left, and then it's just fields, and then you come across this cemetery, and the thing about this cemetery is that it's fairly big. So, oops. Okay, there we go. So, funeral procession. I'm in the first car with my dad, and I think one of my siblings. I think all of my siblings were in the car with me. All three of them. They were in the back seat. My dad was in the front seat, and me, and we're behind the hearse, right? So we're driving, and she was like a warm hug, and I feel that, Rain. So, from the road to where her gravestone is 1 kilometer. Just over 1 kilometer, right? For my American friends, or those who don't use the metric system, let me flip this around. It's about just over half a mile, right? It's like 0.6 miles, right? So we come in and we park, right? And we get out, and the car behind us is the rest of the pallbearers, right? Because it was me and my 2 brothers, and then I think a couple of my cousins and one of my uncles, my mom's brother, older brother. So we're all sitting there, and it's kind of a cold day. I mean, it's January 30th. Or it's February, actually. She died January 30th. It's February. So we're watching the procession come in from her funeral. Now, I think I've talked about the funeral itself before. It was in our home church, and they had to put people in the choir loft. They had to put people were standing in the aisles on the sides. There were people, like the basement was packed. There were people standing in the foyer at the back and in the top of the church, right? That's how many people showed up to my mom's funeral. That's how many people that she touched in our community. So we're all standing out there at this funeral, and it was very sad, obviously. It's a very sad day. But to see this procession of cars come in, and they keep coming and coming and coming. Like, cars were parked all the way back near the entrance of the cemetery. Because there was no more room for people to come in and park, right? Like, there were like processions of people walking up into the cemetery, to the point where like the funeral director was kind of like, okay, we should probably start, and we're all just kind of chuckling because we're just sitting there waiting for all these people to come. And I'll never forget, my dad was sitting next to me, and he said, you see all this, and the cars are still coming, right? And people are still walking, right? Because some of these people had to walk like a kilometer to get to the actual gravesite. He said, you see all this? This is for your mom. This is for your mom. That's how many people loved her. And it was a silver lining on what was a very, very terrible day. Just to see the outpouring of love and support for a very lovely lady that I wish more of you could have met. You best believe that she would have been, if she was still alive, Soul Mom would be playing some Mario Kart, you know? Yeah, it's a lot of people. A lot of people. Yo, Toxic Cookie, how are you? How are you? Hope you're feeling a little bit better. Yeah, it's very powerful indeed. Super Saiyan of a funeral. Yeah, so I just want to, you know, just talk about my mom a little bit. My mom had the loudest sneeze. Just the loudest sneeze that you could possibly imagine. When this woman sneezed, you would think the house was falling down. Hey, no problem, Jake. No problem, Jake. Take your time. Take your time. We're gonna be here for a bit. Oh, that was a little too light. But I don't know. Maybe we'll work with it. I was reminiscing with my dad too. When my mom would burp, she would actually say the word burp. It was kind of funny. Yo, Judge of Fudge, welcome in, welcome in. How are you? How are you this fine day? Hope you're doing well. My mom, one of the biggest things that she would do is she was big on us getting good educations, right? She was real big on it. And I've talked before how my parents were very much... Yo, Angel. Yes, it is a chair. Yes, it is a chair. How are you? How are you? We're taking some time today to talk a little bit about my late mom, because tomorrow would have been her 58th birthday. So we're just talking a little bit about her, honoring her memory. So she was big on cultivating our interests. Both my parents were. My dad still is very big on cultivating our interests. And my mom, during the summer, which, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who would think about the prospect of this and be like, oh man, my mom would actually give us lessons. Didn't take very long, but during the summer, she would give us like lessons in math and spelling and all that kind of stuff to make sure that we kept up with it during the summer. But part and parcel with that is, oh, I'm good, Angel. I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for asking. Hey, no worries, though. No worries. No worries. Yeah, the VOD will always be there. Well, I mean, not always. I'm sure with the heat death of the universe, the VOD will cease to exist. But I do appreciate you coming in. I do appreciate the raid. And yeah, no worries. No worries. I hope you enjoy your dinner. Yeah. And since I'm pretty sure you'll be I don't know if you'll be lurking or not, but I'll sing the lurk song anyway. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Yes, happy Pride indeed. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Yeah, there it is. There it is. So part and parcel with doing these lessons in the summer is my mom would take us on little day trips and field trips. You know, because my mom worked multiple jobs, but a lot of those jobs were shift work, right? She worked at Price Chopper. She worked at No Frills. She worked... this is like the age that I'm thinking of. She wasn't working at Glitters anymore. Glitters was a family restaurant. She was a part of the wait staff. But by this point, she was working at No Frills, Price Chopper, and Top Dollar, which was a dollar store. Well, she worked at Price Chopper first. Then she moved over to No Frills because it was closer to home. You know, and then my dad had his full-time job. You know, so during the summer, because my mom largely worked shift work, my dad would be at work, and then she would like give us little lessons during the day, right? Like teaching us making sure we brushed up on our math and our spelling and all that kind of stuff. And then she would take us on field trips. And one of the places I remember she always took us, because you could walk to it from our house, is a little train museum that's in Chatham. And it was right next to the Via Rail station. So sometimes trains would be going by. I was fascinated with trains when I was a kid. Absolutely fascinated with them. You know. And my younger brother and younger sister also liked going to the train museum because they had a full set in there of like Thomas the Tank Engine. Is that the name of it? Whatever. Had a whole bunch of like Thomas trains, like a full set that you could play with. So you know, and it had like a whole bunch of stuff about like how trains are built. You know, I remember I spent a lot of those summers trying to paint trains, like learning how to paint. Yeah, Thomas the Tank Engine. Yeah. Good. I'm glad I got it right. Thank you, Ray. You know, my mom knew from an early age that I was big into art. You know, my favorite show for a long time was Art Attack. So, you know, I remember one year, one field trip that we went on was to this place called Kerr Farms, which is a place you can go and pick produce, right? You could, it was mostly strawberries. You could go pick strawberries, but they had other produce like blueberries and all that kind of stuff. And I remember as a kid thinking that it was so far away, you know, as you do when you're a kid. You think you have no idea what distances are. And then come to find out that no, actually, it's like it's on the outskirts of town, but it's still within city limits, right? We thought it was way out in the country, but no. You grow up and you learn that it's actually a lot closer than you think. My mom had a very vivacious laugh. If you met any of her sisters, because a lot of them, it's not the exact same laugh, but it's very boisterous, very like you could tell when my mom was laughing. You could tell from like across the house, you know. You could always tell when she found something really, really funny. She loved all of us kids. She loved my older brother. When we found out that my older brother existed, because he's got a different mom. He was born before my parents were married. None of us knew about him until I was like 10 years old or so. So, you know, that was that is very gracious of her. Like she accepted my older brother like he was her own son, right? My mom was very funny. Very funny. I remember she suffered through 4 miscarriages before I was born. Yeah, four miscarriages, and I've probably told this story before, but whatever. And a lot of doctors actually thought that when she was pregnant with me, it was a phantom pregnancy. Because they were like, no, you just are hoping that you're... And then they did an ultrasound and found out that I was there. And they were like, oh, okay. I guess you actually are pregnant. So they were very cautious with how that pregnancy went. Because, like, again, she had suffered 4 miscarriages. And it's funny because I was born with a hole in my heart that thankfully, more like a soul pregnancy. Yes indeed. Thankfully the hole in my heart closed up, like it's fine now. But I was born with a hole in my heart. My younger brother was born prematurely. And then when my mom was pregnant with my sister, the doctors were like, you should not get pregnant anymore. Like, this is probably going to be the most dangerous pregnancy out of all of them. Like, we need to, like, keep this safe, right? My sister was born perfect. There was nothing wrong with her. She was born on time. There's nothing wrong with her at all. Which we all got a kick out of. Anyway, I remember one time when I was I was either like 18 or 19, you know, and I was thinking about like 4 miscarriages. Like, wow, like, can you imagine, like, me being the eldest of my mom's 3 children? You imagine 4 elder siblings? Like, oh my goodness gracious! Like that would. Our house was already full because we had taken a couple of 3 of my cousins, and then one of them was still with us, still living with us. The 2 others had moved out, but one was still living with us, and it's like, this is a full house. Because like, can you imagine this house with like 4 older siblings? And then my mom turns to me and goes, "What makes you think we would have had you if we had the other 4?" And I was like, "Oh, that is a good point." I'll just shut up here. And now your heart is big and full. Well, thank you. But yeah, I was like, okay, all right, Mom. I mean, touche. You right. You probably wouldn't have. So she was really, really funny. My mom also didn't swear. Over the course of her life, I heard my mom say a swear word twice. One, she was a little bit tipsy at a family get-together, and she just kind of let it slip, and we were like, oh! I don't quite remember the circumstances of the second time, but it wasn't in anger or anything. When she would get angry, she would say, "Oh, sugar," you know? She would say, "Oh, sugar," or "Oh, flip," you know? Which, you know, as you get older, you realize, you know, that's kind of cute. It's kind of cute. It's very wholesome. You know? My mom was very good with numbers. She was our church's accountant for a little bit, and took care of like you know, keeping track of like attendance numbers and all, like from week to week. She had a key to the church, which I would steal from time to time to go in there and play on the piano, because we had a keyboard and everything. But I did like playing on an actual piano. You know, didn't know how to read music, still don't. I played everything by ear, but I would sneak in the church sometimes, and no one ever found out, not even my mom. She sounds Southern, even though she probably wasn't. Oh yeah, no. Well, I mean, we were born in we're from Southern Ontario in Canada, which some people would describe politically as like akin to the South. The city we lived in was very, very conservative. You know, it's a little less conservative now, but growing up, it was a pretty conservative place. I wouldn't say that my mom was super conservative, but she had all the good qualities of what you think about in terms of Southern hospitality, right? The main thing, and I guess the most important thing, was like how much she loved her family, like the family, like her siblings, her dad, her mom, and then of course us. Like she absolutely, we never had a single solitary doubt in our minds that my mom loved us, and we also never had a doubt in our minds that she loved our dad. Like that was never a question. That was never in doubt, which I understand now. Like I understood as a kid, but I understand now is such a privilege, because not a lot of people get that. 3 of my closest friends, the ones that I went to high school, the 3 of my closest friends that I went to high school with, you you know, all went through divorces, right? A lot of my friends, and a lot of people I know, a lot of my family members went through divorces, you know, and thankfully, like, we never ever came close to anything like that, you know, which is very rare, and I probably stupidly took that for granted growing up, and I wish I didn't, you know. I wish I didn't. My mom was the youngest of, here, let me bring you guys up here with me. My mom was the youngest of, well, actually, we just discovered that I have another uncle on my mom's side, who's younger, who was born after my grandparents divorced. And my grandfather had no idea that he existed. Unfortunately, my uncle didn't get to meet my grandfather. But for the longest time, my mom was the youngest of 5. You know. Yeah, that is rare. Yeah. But yeah, my mom was the youngest of 5. One of the best stories, it was very harrowing, but thankfully I was very young, so I didn't really understand the stakes of it, right? My mom was probably like 5'2", you know. Very... Me and your mom have that in common. Hey, how's it going, Reezy? Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, we're just talking a little bit about my mom, because she would have been 58 tomorrow. So my dad, I was probably around like 5 years old, right? And my dad was at work, and my mom, with my aunts and uncle on my mom's side, went down to Windsor because my grandfather had a boat. So we went out on the water all day, you know, just a fun day, hanging out. And then we all kind of noticed that these storm clouds were coming in. So we get on the road, and my mom drove, but this time it was with my aunt, my oldest aunt on my mom's side. She was driving us, and we. Thank you, Reezy. Thank you, Reezy. My mom wasn't driving; she was in the passenger seat, and we were in my aunt's van. And we noticed that it started getting really, really dark. Like, darker than it should with just like a regular storm, right? And we're all like, oh, okay. This is getting a little scary. Well, what had happened is, I think we were right around like Leamington. And there was a tornado. And we drove like right through it. Like, not physically through the tornado, but it was like in the area. And my Aunt Vicky pulled into this driveway of this farmhouse because we needed to get into a cellar or something, right? And my mom, this tiny little woman who storms scared the hell out of my mom. My mom was terrified of storms even before this happened, right? Absolutely terrified her, right? This woman, in all of this wind and rain, and you can't see anything because it's very, very dark, right? And it was the middle of the afternoon. It was so dark. She gets out of the car and runs up to the door and starts banging on the door to see if anyone... Now, the people who lived there were probably already in the cellar, so they weren't going to hear it. And then she ran back into the car, and then we just took off down the road hoping to outrun this thing, and thankfully we did. You know. But, like, just thinking back on it is like, that's just absolutely ridiculous. Windsor gets bad storms because it's so close to the lake. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and Chatham's gotten a couple of storms like that because of our vicinity to the lake. Like, basically, Chatham's like the tail end of Tornado Alley that comes up through the States. I'll speak on about kids whose parents don't live together for some reason or another. Me and my ex had a nasty split. They took our kid, and I could have been very ugly about it, but I didn't. I didn't want to contribute to our kid's reason for needing therapy. We both put our differences aside to give our kiddo a stable parental relationship, even if we don't live together. I mean, for as ugly as that story could have turned out, like, I'm glad that it turned out the way that it did. I mean, that shows a lot of character. Being able to put that aside and put the needs of your child first, you know? A lot of people can't do that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. But yeah, I just think of it like this. The fact that my mom did that, you know, is just like crazy to me. But yeah, my mom, it's funny, my mom hated storms, but one of her favorite movies was Singing in the Rain. She loved all those, like, old movies. Like, she loved, yeah, literally, she's a superhero. Yeah. And my dad put on a brave face for us kids when we told him about it. Because when we got home, he got home from work. Because Chatham was just hit with a storm. Like, it was just a regular storm, right? So we had no idea. But I can only imagine how freaked out he was when he heard, like, the rest of the story. My parents were very big on leading by example and teaching by example. For instance, like a lot of the way that I conduct myself in my relationship with my girlfriend now is yo, Juliana, welcome in. Welcome in. How are you? Hope you're having a good day. But a lot of the way that I am with my girlfriend, because I didn't grow up in a household where people fought, right? Like, my parents, obviously they would have disagreements, right? But they never had, like, verbal altercations with each other. There was never any yelling. There was never any shouting. There was never any raising of voices when they had a disagreement. They would talk about it calmly. And usually they wouldn't discuss that kind of stuff in front of us, right? And as a result, like me, like, I am not a yeller, right? Because my dad doesn't yell. My mom didn't yell. Like, so consequently, like, I'm not a yeller. Like, it takes a lot for me to raise my voice, and I don't have a whole lot of disagreements with my girlfriend, thankfully. And every time we have a disagreement, like, there's never any raising of voices, which I'm thankful for too, like, on her end. Like, I've never seen, well, I never saw it growing up, right, in my household. Like, going over to people's houses where their parents fought was kind of like, I mean, it was traumatizing for me. I can only imagine for those kids that actually, like, you know, lived in those houses. You know, but I'm good, thanks. I'm good. Just reminiscing a little bit about my mom, because tomorrow would have been her 58th birthday. So I'm just talking a little bit about my mom before, you know, because I'm not streaming tomorrow, so. Oh, you're at work right now, Reezy. Actually, that makes sense. It gets easier since the kiddo's turning 16 this year. My parents fought all the time. We kids fought all the time. My childhood could have been better. I mean, that's fair. And yeah, like I am fully cognizant now as an adult, like, how rare my parents' relationship is, or, you know, was. You know. You know, and there are people obviously whose parents like you know, fought openly, but they've turned out to be, like, pretty, you know, like they turned out fine. But I'm just thankful as an adult now that we didn't have to navigate that as kids, you know. The one time we sensed a little bit of tension was it wasn't even a disagreement with my parents, right? We were we went on a lot of camping trips with my one of my aunts on my dad's side, right? And we were at this particular not trailer park, but, you know, where you had, like, your camping trailers and you could set up tents and all that. We were there. I don't know how old I would have been. I think I would have been like 12 or something. But usually we would go to Owen Sound. But this time we went to the Niagara region in Niagara Falls. And my dad was having a hell of a time in Niagara Falls. See, my dad has a condition called a peripheral artery disease, which is basically like his arteries are and veins are hardening and closing, right? And it's a progressive disease, right? And it usually happens to people in their like 60s and 70s. His kicked in when he was about 40, which would have been right around the time that we went on this trip, right? So my dad's legs would get very tired and very sore, and my dad didn't understand why at the time, right? Because he was big into fitness. He would go for runs, very big into weightlifting. Still is. He can't go for runs anymore. But yeah, basically it's a progressive disease that ends up closing. So you need to have a lot of stents put in, right? To make sure that the arteries and veins don't close all the way. Because no blood flow is no bueno. So that had started when he was about 40-ish, and this would have been around the time that we were here. So getting up and down the hills in like Marineland, not Marineland, in Niagara Falls were difficult for him, right? And he didn't like the campsite we were at. Admittedly, was pretty dirty. It was a pretty like run down, dirty place. So my dad wasn't happy about that. Like, it was very sketchy. The people that we were camping with were kind of sketchy, and it was my dad was not having a good time. And then the final day we were there, we were in downtown Niagara Falls, going to see the falls again, and somebody decided to key my dad's van. Somebody decided to key our van, and my dad was livid. Absolutely livid. And it was the one time that I sensed any sort of tension between my parents, and it wasn't like my dad was angry at my mom, right? It wasn't even tension between them. It was just sort of like dad's in a bad mood. Because there was no tension between them. My dad was just in a bad mood, and my mom turned around, and it was the one time she ever said this to us. She was like, "You all should probably leave your dad alone." And we were like, okay. I'm sorry, Raziel. I have enough followers and all them. I don't need to buy nothing. Whether or not I've been a good parent, I won't know if ever. That's a judgment call I refuse to make about myself. I mean, that's probably healthy. Oh, sorry, Jake. I jumped on it quicker. You're not a terrible mod. You're a beautiful mod. I just outgunned you this time. You know, I'm sure you'll find one that while I'm just yapping away. My parents always made sure, and they would have discussions about this all the time, and, you know, credit to them for having these types of discussions, because a lot of people don't have these discussions. They were like, our children are never going to, know that... Our children are always going to know that we love them, right? We may be upset with them, we may not like what they're doing, but they will never ever have a doubt in their mind that we love them. And two, we're never going to disregard our children. And that's one thing I can say about my childhood is I felt disregarded by plenty of other adults in my life growing up. I never felt disregarded by my parents. My parents were always there to, like, you know, hear us out. And my parents were very much like they weren't authoritarian, you know? Like, we could ask them stuff. We could question stuff. I will say that at the end of the day, my mom was a little bit better with that than my dad. Because my dad, at a certain point, would, like, kind of put his foot down and be like, no, you know. According to my dad, my mom is the reason why I have the sweet tooth that I do. Fun fact. Because my mom would buy, what do you call it? Oh, baby food, right? Like the pre-made baby food. And my mom actually really liked the taste of the baby food, so she would have a little bit herself. But she didn't like the vegetable flavors, so she would only buy the fruit ones. So my dad would always like kind of tease her, like, "You're the reason why that boy likes sugar so much." And why? And my younger brother, I think probably is more of like a salty person, likes salty snacks. My sister likes sweet snacks, as well. It's like, yeah, that's why, because you always bought them the fruit, the fruit baby food, One of my mom's favorite things to do was to play cards, and board games in general. Like, I would say probably, it's so surreal to say because like none of us knew anything was wrong and none of us knew that it was toward the end of her life. But I guess toward the end of her life, when I was like in my early 20s, and like approaching my mid 20s, my mom would have like game nights with me and my siblings and the one cousin that still lived with us. And my dad didn't participate in the games nights. He would be on the periphery, but he always says that he really enjoyed like hearing us play games because my dad doesn't really have the patience for like card games or board games. They just don't really interest him, but he reveled in, like, he would be in the front room just listening to music, and just loving us all playing, right? The sound of us playing. So my mom's favorite card game to play was a game called like 12-Step Rummy, or it's also called Contract Rummy, where basically like you deal out cards and then you have to fulfill a contract in order to move on to the next step, right? So say the first contract you have to fulfill is a set of 3, right? If you have a set of 3, you lay that down on the table and then you can play off of other people's sets with the rest of your hand. And once your hand is gone, right, then the turn is over, right? And you can, there's 2 ways to play. You can either accumulate points, and in the case of a tie between contracts, like you both get to like level 20 or whatever, you can play a version where the most points, like having a higher point total is the tiebreaker, or having the least amount of points is the tiebreaker. I don't remember which version we played off the top of my head, but I think it was the least points. The least amount of points. You wanted to have the least amount of points in your hand. And then, yeah, if you got a set of 3, then you got to move on to the next step. The points were just kind of a tiebreaker, because if you got through all the contracts really quickly, then you won, right? So those were always good memories, because we would usually order pizza from the best pizza place in the entire world, Pizza Tonight in Chatham. Fantastic pizza. This is not an ad for them, but if you're ever in Chatham, Ontario, get Pizza Tonight. Fantastic pizza. Absolutely fantastic. Our children will always know that we love them. Yes, exactly. Who is this texting me? Oh. It's my older brother. I will answer that in just a second. But yeah, my mom was big. She was big on Yahtzee. Really loved Yahtzee. Pizza Tonight was my wedding dinner. Yes, indeed. Yes, it was. Pizza Tonight is delicious. Man, that was a good day. Yo, shout out to Jake's wedding. That was a fun day. That was a good day. Beautiful day. Wonderful day. Yeah, my mom really liked Yahtzee. She really liked Scrabble. Yeah, really liked Scrabble. We played, as a family, we played Monopoly once, and then decided to never play Monopoly again. Ooh, you shot a wedding last weekend. Nice, nice, nice. How did that turn out? I didn't know you did wedding photography, or photography, or maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe you probably mentioned it in Zell's chat. I'm bad. I'm bad at remembering things. Oh, it was your first. Might be your last. Oh, I'm dropping frames again. My mom and I are here talking about how your door and walls look real. My mom says she keeps thinking someone will walk in. Ooh. Well, thank you. Thank you to the both of you. I really hope no one walks through that door. That'd be weird. Yeah, why the coyote entering the real world? Exactly. Oh, you were the videographer. Okay. That's fair. Also, that's fair on that maybe being your last. I mean, I can imagine that's a lot of work and a lot of stress. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break because I just want to answer this text from my brother, and I can't use my phone to text because I use it as a camera. So, I took on the wedding last year when I still wasn't sure what I wanted to do as a career, and I got a full-time job in my field in the meantime, and now I'm thinking wedding videography may not be my calling. Fair enough. Hey, yo, Buddhabot, welcome in. Beetlejuice. Yeah, so I will take just a quick 30-second break or so, and then guys, stop trying to conjure shit to come out of this, because I will be the first victim, and then there will be no more streams, because either I will be dead or I will go running and I will never return. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna take a quick break, just answer this text from my brother, and then we will be back. So stay tuned, everybody. All right, we are back. Where did my music go? Why did this stop? What? Oh, my goodness. You know, you tell a soundtrack to loop. You would hope that it loops. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. My mom said, I hope nobody walks through that door either or I'll have a heart attack. No, rules stipulate that the ghost haunts the one conjuring the ghost, so you'll be safe. We, on the other hand, well, okay. Yeah. Kind of screwed yourself there. Oh, be right back again. Sorry. Real quick. All right, we back. We back again. All right. What else to say about my mom? I mean, there's tons I could say about my mom. One thing that I don't think I've mentioned enough on here is just how amazing a cook she was. Oh, I mean, to this day, my favorite meal is my mom's homemade ham and scalloped potatoes. I haven't had my mom's homemade ham and scalloped potatoes, for a very long time. Because it's she can't cook them anymore. But that will forever be my favorite meal. Just absolute favorite. And the kicker is, we all liked the ham and scalloped potatoes. My mom, my brother, my younger brother, my sister, my cousins. We all loved ham and scalloped potatoes. My mom hated ham and scalloped potatoes. She couldn't stand it. Yes, scalloped potatoes S tier. Yeah, but my mom couldn't stand ham, and she didn't like scalloped potatoes, but she would make it for us because we all loved it so much. Which just, again, goes to the kind of person that my mom was. I've told this story. I don't know if I've told it here, but I've told it on. I know I've told it on Facebook in a memoriam for my mom. So my mom was very, very good at negotiating. She love language indeed. Love language indeed. My mom very good at negotiating. She did a lot of yard sailing, a lot of secondhand stores, and would get better prices for things. Just because she wouldn't haggle and she wouldn't be mean about it or anything like that. She was just good at sniffing out deals and finding out where someone would be willing to go a little lower, right? So, it is my second year of university. I go to the University of Western Ontario in London, Ontario, and there is a bus strike in London, right? No city buses are running. I live about a 40-minute walk from the school, so it's not a big deal for me to walk to school, so I do. My mom's like that too. Did you say it was your mom's birthday tomorrow? Yeah, so tomorrow would have been my mom's 58th birthday. If she was still alive, she would have been 58 tomorrow. June is kind of special because my mom's birthday was June 3rd, and my dad's and my sister's birthday is both June 16th. So, June has always been a special month in our household. So, there's a bus strike in London. I have to walk to school. I have to walk to the university. Problem is, this particular morning, it's raining, right? And I don't have a laptop bag. I just have my laptop in my backpack, right? And my backpack is supposed to be waterproof, but who knows, right? So I'm just kind of hoping against hope that it is actually waterproof, right? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Juliana. Yeah, no, she passed in she passed January 30th, 2016, which that's a year that I'm perfectly fine forgetting about. That was a lot of good things happened to me in 2016, like moving up here. But also 2016, I lost my mom, and then I lost my mom's dad, my maternal grandfather. So yeah, 2016, that was quite the year. Anyway, so it's raining. I have to walk to school. My laptop is in my backpack that is supposed to be waterproof, and I'm hoping that it's waterproof. But, don't really know until you get to school. I get to school, I get to my class, it's an art history class, I open my laptop, and it's wet. It's wet, and it will not turn on. And I'm like, well, that's just great. Because, I don't have money to go, I don't have money left over from my student loans to go buy another laptop. So, I tell my mom about it, and the next weekend or so, I go back to Chatham, and my parents give me one of my dad's old ThinkPads, right, that I can use in the meantime, right? And I go to Future Shop, which was a thing at the time. Future Shop is now out of business, but I go to Future Shop to send my laptop away to see if it can get fixed under warranty. And of course, it's not. It's not covered under warranty. Water damage is not covered under warranty. But for some reason that still escapes me to this day, they didn't send my laptop back right away. They kept my laptop for 3 months or so. It was a while. And my mom was starting to she was more annoyed about it than me, right? And I was like, well, Mom, I have the other laptop. And she's like, no, but you need a laptop. You need a better laptop than that one. You're in school. And I was like, Mom, it's fine. It's fine. Well, I think it was toward the middle or end of the month 3, and she's like, this is ridiculous. So we go to Future Shop. I think they had just sent it back, actually. And my mom wanted to collect it because she knew a guy that could fix laptops, right? I had gone to Future Shop without telling her. Otherwise, she would have told me, just bring it to this guy, right? So we went to go collect the laptop, and that's where they explained to her that it wasn't under warranty. And I don't know what happened, right? I was browsing laptops while my mom talked to these people. And the one thing you have to know about my mother is, again, I already mentioned that she never raises her voice. She never raised her voice, right? She didn't raise her voice. She didn't yell. She didn't scream. She was not what we would call a Karen now, right? She just explained the situation to these guys, and by the time she was done talking to them, one of the dudes, the manager of the store, walked past us and was like, because we were just looking at a laptop, and they were like, do you guys want anything? Do you want a drink? And I was like, no, thank you. I'm good. Mom, you good? She was like, we're fine, thank you. And very kind, but that's my mom. She didn't yell and scream and get her way. She explained the situation. She was very kind and very sweet. And guess what? It turns out when you're nice to people, they're more likely to try to help you out. And I'm guessing at the end of the day, she explained that I was a university student that didn't have a whole lot of money, and we didn't have a whole lot of money as a family, so if they could do anything to help us out, because I need a laptop, right? And they ended up, I think, knocking down the laptop that I bought to half price or something like that. With a free warranty. And it was just okay. Alright, thank you, Mom. Oh, and by the way, that laptop that the Future Shop people couldn't fix, my mom took it to the dude around the corner who knows how to fix computers, and within a week, or 2 weeks, he brought it back and was like, okay, so the fan doesn't work anymore, but as long as you keep an external fan on it, even just a regular super fan, or just a wall fan or something, as long as you keep a fan on it, it'll work fine. And lo and behold, that laptop lasted for another 3 years. And again, you had to keep the fan on it. Otherwise, it would shut down instantly because it would overheat. But as long as that fan was on it, that laptop was fine. So, yeah. Pretty, my mom was pretty incredible. Yeah, Woe was right. But yeah, my mom loved bargains like that. She loved loved yard sailing. Like that was one of our favorite things to do was go out to yard sales, and she loved to put on yard sales too. And my mom would like she did a lot of baking. Like I mentioned, she was an amazing cook and an amazing baker. Like, oh, so good. Like her cookies, especially her peanut butter cookies, her chocolate chip and peanut butter cookies. She would always get mad whenever she would make cookies, because between me and my siblings, although to be honest, it was mostly me, she would be making these cookies, and the batch is supposed to make like 50 cookies or something, and she'd be like, I ended up with 24 cookies. Because we would just like surreptitiously like sneak in the kitchen and like grab some dough and then leave. Hey Reezy, thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. I hope the rest of your work day goes well. Hope it's not too stressful for you. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Appreciate the lurk though. I just like laptops on principle. The cons outweigh the pros for me. That's fair enough. I don't begrudge people that use them, but they're just not for me. Hey, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. That is fair enough. I myself, I'm a fan of laptops. I mean, desktops do offer a lot more in terms of stability and what you can do with them and space and all that kind of stuff. But for the purposes of what I use my computer for, you know, laptops have worked. Although, yeah, I had a hard time with laptops when I was in school because of stuff like that. My first year of university, I had another ThinkPad that my mom found at a yard sale. She found like 2 or 3 ThinkPads at a yard sale for like $20, like the old IBM ThinkPads. Which is funny because my my girlfriend for her work has a version of the ThinkPad, so they're still kicking. But that laptop I accidentally stepped on in my dorm room. Yeah, accidentally stepped on in first year, so only half the screen worked. But it was okay because I had Windows 7 on it, so I could just like, you know, snap everything I needed to the one side of the screen that worked, and it was fine. One thing that I've inherited from my parents, and I'm sure sometimes, every once and again, it drives my girlfriend mad, but hey, you know. My parents, because again, we didn't have a whole lot of money, as a people, we're very good at making things work, right? And we very good at ingenuity. And like, okay, well, we can find a purpose for this, even though it's not like perfectly done, or like it's not working the way it should, right? And I think my girlfriend gets annoyed with me because, thankfully, I'm at a point in my life now where like I can either afford to get something fixed or afford to get something new if it breaks. Some depending on the thing, like some things are obviously a lot more expensive than others, but it's still in my nature to just kind of make it work instead of fixing it or like if I can't fix it, instead of paying to get it fixed or like paying to get a new one, right? I'm more apt to be like, no, I'll figure out something to do with it. What does that yellow part of the LGBTQIA plus with a symbol mean in it? Oh, flag. Oh, don't worry, I knew what you meant. That is a new addition to that flag. That is the intersex flag. They just added that. I don't know if they just added it this year, but Yeah, that's the intersex flag. Yeah, I mean, I'm biased, but I think they were pretty good. I think they were pretty good. Um, but thank you for saying so, Juliana. Yeah, I think they were pretty neat. My dad is still pretty neat. But yeah, oh, I just realized that I did that thing sometimes where like I start on a track, um, uh, in terms of saying something, and then I don't finish it up. Because earlier I said like what actually killed my mom was a combination of lupus and scleroderma, and as such, the charity stream that I do this summer, next month, actually, is going to be for I think Lupus Canada, to raise funds for that. Um, I'm fairly sure. Because I know there's a subsidiary of that, Lupus Ontario, that might be better to donate to. I got to do some research on it. But anyway. Yeah, no problem, no problem. Happy to help. I just learned about that today when I was looking up pride flags, and I was like, oh, this one looks a little different. But yeah. Yeah, they added the intersex flag in there. I know one thing that I saw, after um, my mom passed away. One thing that really helped me was I saw of all things, a Reddit post, and I had actually seen this post months before, like months before my mom got sick, because she got sick in like October of 2015. So I'd seen it before that, and actually saved it in my phone. But it was a quote from someone on Reddit, um, whose name is escaping me, like their username is escaping me. But I'll be forever grateful for them putting this in words. But, you know, I was sitting around after my mom passed away and like pretty obviously upset. And then I remembered this quote, and the quote was, life's not fair, and thank goodness. Imagine thinking, or imagine living a life where everything bad that happened to you happened because you deserved it, right? And it's like, yeah, that would actually be kind of a nightmare, because that's what's fair, right? Bad things happen to you because you, dropping frames again. But yeah, bad things happen to you because you deserve it, right? That would be fair. That would be just, you know? And obviously what happened to my mom, in terms of her illness, like, that wasn't fair. That wasn't just. And it made it better, because it was like, well, clearly this wasn't fair. And it made it easier to deal with. You know, kind of a silver lining, I guess. Let's see, what else did my mom do? My mom, okay, so there's a public channel in Ontario called TVO, TV Ontario, right? It's a public cable station, and they would have a thing called, they had kids programming. I'm pretty sure they still do, called TVO Kids, right? Where there's a bunch of kids shows. Imagine that. So, I gotta look up this reference image for this corner here, because I don't think that looks quite right. Anyway, TVO Kids would often have things like they would shout out birthdays, right? And they would, like, if it was your birthday, you could send in a card, or your family could send in a card, and they would read it on air, right? So I remember one year my mom did that. It actually got read on air while we were watching it. She made a Bananas in Pajamas, which was a TV show. She made a Bananas in Pajamas birthday card for me, and they read it on the air. And my two favorite hosts on TVO Kids were these two people, Patty and Joe. Patty and Joe were so cool. you know, Patty had been doing like kids television for years at that point. And Joe was one of the first like black people that I had ever seen host anything, right? So I remember one morning, my mom woke us up, me and my younger brother and my sister. She loaded us in the car. Unfortunately, my dad couldn't go because he had to work. But we drove to what ended up being London. We didn't know when we were young because, you know, an hour-long car ride feels like forever. But we drove to London, and we drove to this school. Actually, maybe it wasn't London. It might have been one of the towns like around. I don't know. Either way, we drove for what seemed like forever, and we ended up at this school where there was I remember being fixated on. They had a snow cone machine, and I really wanted a snow cone because I had never seen a snow cone before, and I really wanted one. Okay, where is this reference image? Come on now. Oh, it's because I'm in the wrong folder. Oh my goodness. Come on, TJ. Get it together. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I had never seen a snow cone before, so I really wanted one. And my mom was like, we'll get one later. But we have to go line up. And I didn't know what we were in line for. My mom swore that she could not understand how I didn't notice this. But it made the payoff all the more better, because we're in this hallway at this school and we're like moving really slow, and there's all these other kids, and I'm like, you know, what is going on? And then we turn a corner, and there's still like a mob of kids and everything, and we get up to the front, and again, I'm probably like 6 or 7 years old, and there's Patty and Joe. They're signing things. So we get a signature. I got to shake Joe's hand, you know. The little black kid seeing like someone else. I mean, I'm sure somebody will hear this and be like, why are you making it about race? But it's like, you know, representation is important, especially if you're a minority in some way, right? And like I said, Joe was the first black person that I saw host anything, you know, and it was TVO Kids. You know, he was a co-host with Patty, and it was just awesome, right? So it was like it was like an honor to meet them, and I was awestruck. And my mom could not understand, because she said when I was older, it's like there were signs everywhere. And of course I knew how to read, but I guess I just didn't pay any attention to any of the signs, because there were signs all over the place like, come meet Patty and Joe. But somehow I just missed all of them. But that was one of my favorite memories as a kid, was getting to meet Patty and Joe. Also, I apologize if any of that ended up choppy. If you need me to repeat anything, please feel free to say so. My frame rates, like my frames are dropping for some reason again. I don't understand it. Alright. So now that I know what this shadow is supposed to look like, we'll move up there and do that. Oh. Gonna have to repaint that. That's alright though. Actually, we may not have to repaint it. I might just do that. My mom was perfect. Like yours? Ah, that's awesome to hear. Yeah, my mom was the bee's knees. It took a while for a lot of the good memories to come back, like because obviously after somebody passes away, you tend to dwell on like the final months of hell that is, right? Or like if it's sudden, like that's all you can dwell on, right? It takes a while for the good memories to come back. So I'm glad that I'm finally at that stage now where the good memories outweigh the memories of her in the hospital, right? Because it took a while to get there. It took a long while to get there, but we're finally there, you know. And I can share these stories, you know. One of my favorite stories is because I didn't think my mom would enjoy this as much as she did. So my grandfather lived on the outskirts of a town. This is my mom's dad. Lived on the outskirts of our city. And my aunts and my grandfather had this idea that everyone would come over, like all of his kids and the grandkids and all that, would come over and set up tents in his backyard and would camp out that night, right? And this was actually one of the times that I heard my mom swear because she got a little bit tipsy. She got a little bit tipsy because my mom didn't drink much at all. So so she had a few cute coolers, I guess, and was feeling it a little bit. Anyway, it was a fun night, but I remember I did not stay the night, and everyone was like, "Why don't you stay the night?" And I was like, okay, number one, I love camping, right? I really do love camping. I truly do. But I can only stand camping for so long, right? Like, my limit for camping trips is like 2 weeks, a month at the most, right? Because I start to miss my bed. I start to miss the comforts of home, right? Like, I probably couldn't do these camping trips with these people that, like, go out for, like, months upon months upon months. Like, even traveling, like, I couldn't travel for that long, right? Now it's just me. So I told my family this, and they're like, so you're not gonna stay? And I was like, no, because it was only for one night. But one, my bed is literally a 2-minute drive away. Because we lived fairly close to my grandfather. We had to drive through the neighborhood a bit, and he was toward the outskirts of town. We were more like in town, but it's like a 2 to 5 minute drive to get home. So I could either like sleep at home and then come back in the morning, or I could sleep out here. Now, another thing that's a factor to consider is that okay, come on, frame rate. I'm in the middle of a story. Another factor to consider is my grandfather, his property backed up onto a creek, right? A creek that didn't run, a creek that was full of stagnant water. So his property, once the sun went down, was just littered with mosquitoes. Also, it's Chatham, Ontario, which is like one of the most humid places in Canada, right? So I didn't really feel like sleeping outside in a sticky tent covered in mosquito bites when I could just sleep in my own house. So right around like 9 o'clock or so, I was like, okay, I'll see y'all in the morning. I'll come and help on Earth, exactly, Jake, on Earth. So I was like, okay, I'll come back in the morning and I'll help make breakfast, right? Yeah, I'll come help make breakfast and help you guys like pack up. But I'm not staying the night. I'm not staying the night when I could conceivably sleep in my own bed with air conditioning, you know. And I explained that to my dad when I got home, and my dad was like, "Oh, I feel you." Hey, welcome back, Elle. Welcome back. I hope dinner was lovely. You're not missing anything I'm saying? It's very slightly choppy and it's barely happening. Okay, well that's good. That's good, because on my side, the things like lighten up like crazy. So, okay, that's good to know. Thank you, Juliana. So I get back in the morning, and to my surprise, now, you have to understand at this point, my mom, this was probably like 2 years before she passed away. She was starting to feel the effects of her liver failing, because that's what the lupus and scleroderma attacked. They attacked her liver, right? So she was starting to feel the effects of that, like, that early, right? So she was always, like, very tired and sore. There were some days that she couldn't go to work because she was in pain and all that kind of stuff, and we didn't know why, right? But my mother, the trooper that she was, she actually slept out in that tent all night in the not-so-cozy confines of southern Ontario heat. And I was in shock. I was in shock. I thought for sure she'd sleep in the house. But no, she was out there in that tent. I was stunned. I was stunned. My mom, if there's one thing you take away from all this, other than my mom being extremely, extremely nice and kind to everyone, she was a trooper, and she didn't let anything that she was going through like bog down anything else, right? She made sure that everyone else felt good and appreciated and loved. Never at the expense of her own well-being, because, you know, I don't think it was ever at the expense of that. But she always had time. She was just a very tough person, right? And she was a fighter. You know, she's just awesome. Which, again, I'm biased, you know. But I think you're allowed to be biased if you have a fantastic parent. You know, you can brag on them a little bit. But yeah, Jake's not lying. Southern Ontario, Chatham is the most humid place on the face of the planet. I mean, forget your rainforest, forget Florida, forget, you know, the Caribbean, forget all that. Chatham, Ontario. One of the reasons it's so humid is because a lot of the hot air like Chatham is in a very shallow valley, right? It's not hilly, but it's in a very shallow valley. Shallow enough that when all the stuff comes in, it just comes into Chatham and just sits, right? And it's like getting choked out. What'd you have for dinner, Elle? Yeah, and I'm glad that you could come back for the end of it, because we're going to wrap up in about 10 minutes or so. Because I have to go vote. I have to go do my civic duty. And then I have to go buy some groceries. Most notably watermelon, because watermelon is a fantastic snack in general, but also it is an essential snack when you're out at a dragon boat regatta, which we're going to be on Saturday and Sunday. But oh, I was saying earlier again. I got sidetracked. My mom, even though she didn't like storms, she loves singing in the rain. So I remember when we were kids, we would like go out and singing in the rain, holding umbrellas on rainstorms. You know, we would just go out in the front sidewalk and just, you know, sing. My mom always got a kick out of that. She loved all the Shirley Temple movies. She loved White Christmas. That was one of her favorite movies. My parents always watched It's a Wonderful Life every single Christmas. That was kind of their little tradition that they would watch together. Which is probably where I got some of my movie-based traditions, because I know every Christmas I like to watch It's a Wonderful Life, and I like to watch A Christmas Story, and I love to watch A Charlie Brown Christmas. And of course, every single year on my birthday, I watch The Shining, because that's my favorite movie. I don't only watch The Shining on my birthday. Like, I watch The Shining whenever I love that movie. But I always make it a point to watch it on my birthday. Yeah, a lot of movie traditions, because we would have movie nights as a family, you know. French fries, because I'm an adult with adult tastes. Oh, you had fish and chips. Nice, nice, very nice. Hey, French fries are great. Roommate has to stream with his friend tonight, so no best friend times for me after Din Din. Ah, that's too bad. That's too bad. But at least you got to have dinner together. My girlfriend got me an air fryer for my birthday, so I have French fries quite often. So I feel that. Whines on the internet that I don't see my roommate enough. Hey, that's fair though. That's fair. I think that's fair myself. Oh, you love air fryer too? You got one too? Nice. Nice. Yeah, they're very convenient. They're very convenient. And mine's nice too, because you don't actually have to put any oil in it. So, you gotta head to bed? That's alright, Jake. We're actually going to wrap up. I'm going to wrap up, like, now, actually. Because I figure I'll go to the polls at 8 o'clock. Which gives me time to, like, kind of, like, chat with you guys on an outro. And then, you know, actually raid someone and stay in the raid party for a little bit before I have to go. So, I think I'm going to... I also need to take some time to, like, clean all this paint off my hands. But Jake, I hope you have a lovely, lovely, lovely night. Thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate you, as always. No, but thanks for hanging out. I hope you have a wonderful night. 25,000 steps around Edinburgh today takes it out of you. Oh, pff, I would say so. I mean, if you're going to sing, the Proclaimers are what you need to do. It's what you need to do. But yes, rest up, my friend. Rest up, my friend. But yeah, this is coming together. This is coming together. We're getting there. And you went to a stadium. Nice. Nice. But yeah, this is very much coming together. We're getting very close to, like, actually focusing on the stuff that's actually going to be abstracted. So, also, I couldn't help but notice that we are 9 people away from having 200 followers, which is just ridiculous. I should probably do something. I don't know. I'll figure out something. But yes, Jake, have a wonderful night. Awesome to see you, my friend. Okay, so... And it was also awesome to see all y'all. I really appreciate y'all, tuning in and listening to me talk about my mom a little bit. I tell stories about myself all the time, so you'll definitely hear more about my parents and more about my mom. But can you make a 200 follower request? By all means, because I don't know what to do. By all means. But yeah, I appreciate y'all coming in and listening to me talk about my mom a little bit, about my family, a little bit about ourselves and our past. A charcoal drawing. I could do a charcoal drawing. I probably should do more charcoal drawings, actually. So yes, I will do a charcoal drawing for 200 followers. Good idea. But yeah, this was fun. Because I like sharing stories about my mom. I'm comfortable talking about my mom in all facets. Good and bad. Like bad in terms of like what happened to her. I'm comfortable discussing that now. So it's nice being able to like just discuss the good stuff. It always makes me feel good. So I appreciate that you all let me do that on the eve of what would have been her 58th birthday. So let's. I mean, this is probably gonna sound cheesy, but I don't care. I'm a cheesy person. If tomorrow you find yourself with a spare thought, if you want to just throw out a happy birthday, Kathy, just in your thoughts, or if you want to say it or whatever. You also don't have to. You're not obligated. But, All right, let's see. Oh, also, thank yous, Elle. Once again, thank you for the raid. Really do appreciate it. I love that you share your community with me. It really makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. I'm sorry you're in the club with me, but I'm glad you have so many good memories. Yeah. I'm sorry right back at you. But yeah. Her name was with a C. Also, you just got an ad? That's interesting because it says here that I don't have ads running for another hour and 46 minutes. So I'm sorry. Juliana. If you missed anything, I was just saying that I appreciate you all listening to me talk about my mom. And if you find yourself with a spare moment tomorrow, just like a spare thought, spare time or whatever, just feel free to throw out a happy birthday, Kathy. It sounds kind of cheesy, but like I said, I'm a cheesy guy. But yes, Elle, thank you again for the raid. Really do appreciate it. Jake, thank you for the resubscription. Very much appreciate you. And hope you get some good sleep. And Rain, thank you for the glug glug. I'm going to take another one actually. And again, you don't have to say happy birthday, but if you do, I'm sure my mom will appreciate it. All right, let's find someone to raid, shall we? Let's go spread the love a little bit. Let's see who's doing what. Who is doing what? Let's see. Because I'm gonna have to leave, I think we're gonna try to... Actually, you know what? They've been on for about 20 minutes, so we're gonna go say hello to Lava KC. Anytime and almost every time, my dude. Well, I appreciate that, El. I appreciate that. Yeah, Reezy, thank you for lurking while you're working. I mean, I appreciate that, and thanks for coming in and chatting for a little bit too. Enjoy your day tomorrow. I'll be sending all the positive vibes. Thank you. I will. My girlfriend and I are going to go see a concert tomorrow, actually, with some friends. So it'll be a good day. It's not my favorite genre of music because I'm not big on country, but they all love country, and if they're having fun, I'm having fun, and as long as the concert's good, as long as they put on a good show, I'm happy. So yeah, that'll be fun. All right, let's go say hello to Lava KC, shall we? If I can go to my stream manager and actually put the name in, that'd be great. Please. They're painting with some palette knives tonight, so that is a lot of fun. All right. Oh, don't worry. I will have fun. I will have fun. Like I said, as long as they put on a good show, I will have fun. So. Not a country fan, but enjoy. Yeah. No, like I said, if it's a good show, it could be any genre, and I'll enjoy it. So yes, I hope you all have a lovely evening. I'm gonna hang out in Lava KC's stream for probably about 5 minutes or so, and then I'm gonna get ready to go vote. Because thankfully I just got to go around the corner, and then I'm gonna go get those groceries, and then I'll probably be back to join in afterwards. But you voted? Nice. See, I should have earlier, but I procrastinated a bit, so I got to go do it now. So I hope you all have a very lovely evening, or morning, or afternoon, wherever you are, whatever time it is. Happy Pride Month to everybody again, and we will catch you on Saturday at either 11:30 or 12. But I will tweet out when we're starting that day. So because it'll depend on when my girlfriend's races end up. So yeah, we will hopefully see you all Saturday for some more Breath of the Wild. All right, take it easy, everybody.